On June the 23rd, 2024, at the National Hot Rod Association Virginia Nationals in Dinwiddie, Virginia, drag racing legend John Force experienced one of the most terrifying crashes of his career. Whilst competing in the first round of eliminations, Force's peak Chevrolet Camaro funny car was involved in a catastrophic engine explosion, causing the vehicle to veer off course, slam into the guard wall, and leave his car mangled. The severity of the crash raised immediate concerns for his safety, and the racing world held its breath as emergency crews worked to extract him from the wreckage. What exactly happened that day, and was this the end of a legend's career? Let's talk about it. But first, a quick message from today's sponsor. So, this sponsorship is specifically aimed at my American audience, which is actually over 70% of you. Recently, I got the opportunity to try the meals from Factor, and I have to say, I am very jealous that this service isn't yet available in the UK. Factor delivers fresh, chef-crafted, dietitian-approved easy food straight to your door and ready to eat within 2 minutes. After signing up, you'll get a choice of up to 35 healthy meals catered to suit any diet type, including keto or vegan, and they ensure that you won't get bored by changing the menu weekly. Imagine the time you'll be able to save by not preparing your weekly shopping list, going to the shops, or cooking, because it's all done for you by professional chefs. Factor is affordable and flexible, with the ability to adjust, pause, or reschedule your plan at any time. So what are you waiting for? Use my link to get 50% off and free shipping on your first order. Sponsorships like this help me create the content you love, so thank you so much again to Factor for sponsoring this video, and now, let's get into it. John Force was born on May the 4th, 1949 in Bell Gardens, California, a working-class suburb of Los Angeles. He was one of 6 children raised in a family that faced significant financial challenges. His father, Harold Force, was a truck driver, and his mother, Betty Ruth, managed the household. The Force family lived a nomadic lifestyle for several years, moving frequently between trailer parks, logging camps, and even Indian reservations across Southern California. His family's financial constraints meant that luxuries were rare, and leisure often involved resourceful improvisation. Sports played a big role in John Force's early life, particularly football, where his natural competitiveness began to show. However, a bout with polio at a young age threatened his ability to remain active, but thankfully he recovered. Force's introduction to the world of cars came through the Southern Californian car culture that flourished during his formative years. The region was a hub for hot rods, muscle cars, and drag racing enthusiasts. Though his family lacked the means to participate in the world directly, Force was drawn to it. He grew up idolizing icons like Don Garlits and other pioneers of drag racing. He read about them in magazines and watched at local tracks when he could afford to attend. These moments planted the seeds for what would later become a lifelong obsession. After graduating from Bell Gardens High School, Force briefly attended college but struggled to find direction. It was here he realized that he was not cut out for a normal job. He wanted to become a drag racer. He began tinkering with vehicles, learning mechanics through trial and error, and his early experience into driving came through informal drag races, often held on desolate stretches of road where young enthusiasts gathered together to try it out and have fun. Though these experiences were far removed from the professional circuits he would later dominate, they provided him with enough experience to kickstart his career. As he navigated his early 20s, he worked a variety of blue-collar jobs, including stints as a truck driver and a mechanic, to support his passion. These jobs allowed him to fully immerse himself further into the automotive world, whilst saving money to fund his ambitions. After saving up enough, he eventually acquired his first racing car, a used Chevrolet Vega funny car. This was his first step towards his goal of making a name for himself in the world of drag racing. He began his professional racing career in the late 1970s, competing in the NHRA funny car division. His early years were marked by financial challenges, mechanical struggles, and frequent losses, but he gradually gained experience and improved his craft. Force's first major breakthrough came in 1990, when he secured his first NHRA funny car championship. This win established him as a serious competitor in the sport. The 1990s saw Force dominate the NHRA scene, earning 10 consecutive funny car championships between 1993 and 2002. By combining technical innovation with disciplined team management, he set new standards for success in drag racing. His team, John Force Racing, became a dominant force in the NHRA, with multiple cars consistently ranking at the top of the standings. A key aspect for his career has been the ability to adapt with the evolving nature of the sport. He was an early advocate for safety improvements, particularly following a series of high-profile accidents in the early 2000s. Force himself survived a near-fatal crash in 2007 during a drag race in Texas, an incident which led to significant changes in the chassis construction and other safety protocols within the NHRA. Then, on February 25, 2018, during the NHRA Arizona Nationals at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park in Chandler, Arizona, John Force experienced a harrowing incident that underscored the inherent risks of the sport. In the second round of eliminations, as Force's car crossed the finish line, a catastrophic engine explosion occurred. The blast obliterated the car's body and caused it to run into the adjacent lane, colliding with Johnny Lindbergh's vehicle. The collision caused both of the parachutes to tangle, and the tangled parachutes of both cars led them to crash into the retaining walls before coming to a halt. Miraculously, both drivers survived the ordeal. Lindbergh exited his car on his own, whilst Force was transported to the Chandler Regional Hospital for evaluation, but was later released that evening. The crash caused the John Force racing team and the NHRA to evaluate safety protocols and the mechanical reliability of the cars. John Force emphasised addressing issues with engine components and automatic shut-off systems to prevent similar incidents. Despite these terrifying crashes, Force continued on, and if you think this crash was bad, just wait till you see the crash later on in the video. In 2019, Force achieved a career milestone with his 150th NHRA event win at the Northwest Nationals in Seattle. Shortly after, he claimed another victory at the prestigious US Nationals in Indianapolis, further cementing his legacy as one of the best to ever do it. As of 2024, Force has earned 157 NHR victories and 16 funny car championships, records that remain unmatched. In 2024, at 75 years old, John Force was still going strong. However, the Virginia Nationals that year was about to change everything. On June 23, 2024, during the NHRA Virginia Nationals in Dinwiddie, Virginia, John Force was involved in a catastrophic accident. During the first round of eliminations, Force's peak Chevrolet Camaro funny car suffered a devastating engine explosion as he crossed the finish line at speeds of 302 miles per hour. The explosion tore through the car's body, sending debris flying and causing Force to lose control of the vehicle. The impact of the blast forced his car to veer sharply across the centre line, narrowly missing his opponent before slamming into both guard walls. The collision crushed significant portions of the car's chassis, leaving the vehicle mangled and unrecognisable by the time it came to a stop. Safety crews rushed to the scene as thick smoke and fire engulfed parts of the wreckage, adding to the chaotic scene on the track. Spectators and fellow racers watched in stunned silence as the severity of the crash became clear. The violence of the collision raised immediate concerns for Force's safety. From the stands, fans could see medical crews working quickly to assess his condition and extract him from the wreck. The accident was described by witnesses as one of the most severe crashes in the recent NHRA memory, with the destruction of the car suggesting the worst. After the crash, emergency crews acted swiftly to stabilise John Force at the track. Although the severity of the collision had caused widespread concern, he was conscious and able to respond to medical teams. He was carefully removed from the wreckage, placed on a stretcher, and transported to a nearby medical facility via airlift for a thorough evaluation and treatment. Witnesses later recounted how Force appeared to be in visible pain, but remained alert as he was loaded into the helicopter. The NHRA released a statement shortly after confirming that Force was alive and under the care of medical professionals. However, the full extent of his injuries, including the fractured sternum and traumatic brain injury, heightened the seriousness of the situation. His family, team, and fellow race drivers were visibly shaken, given how violent the crash had appeared. The incident quickly became a focal point of discussion within the NHRA community, with many expressing relief that Force had survived such a catastrophic event. Concerns lingered though, as his condition required close monitoring, particularly due to the nature of the head injury, but most importantly, he was alive. Updates from the hospital reassured fans that Force was in a stable condition, but would remain under observation for several days in the trauma intensive care unit. His survival was attributed to a combination of advancements in funny car safety features, the quick response of the NHRA medical team, and Force's own resilience. Upon arrival at the medical facility, he was diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury, a fractured sternum, and a wrist injury. Initially, he was placed in the trauma intensive care to stabilize his condition. As his status improved, he was transferred to the neurological intensive care unit to focus on the head injury. He spent approximately a month in inpatient care before being discharged to continue outpatient therapy near his home in California. Over the next 4 to 5 months, he would be in and out of hospital for treatment and rehab. The NHRA, in collaboration with John Force racing team and safety experts, conducted a thorough investigation into the crash. Preliminary findings indicated that the engine explosion was the primary cause of the accident, leading to loss of vehicle control. The investigation also examined the structural integrity of the car and the effectiveness of existing safety measures. One safety outcome of the investigation was the renewed discussion about the implementation of safer, steel and foam energy reduction barriers at the track. Traditionally used in oval track racing, these barriers are designed to absorb and reduce the force of impacts, potentially minimizing injury severity. In response to these findings, they did announce that they would review this, and these measures aim to reduce the risk of similar incidents in the future. As to what caused the car to explode in the first place, the specific technical details of the engine failure were never publicly disclosed. But explosions like this are most likely due to mechanical failures, fuel system malfunctions, or excessive stress on engine components. The sudden and violent nature of the explosion in his car led to the immediate destabilization of the vehicle, making it challenging to maintain control. In the aftermath of the crash, NHRA analyst Alan Reinhardt provided insights into the parachute malfunction. He explained that the force of the engine explosion likely damaged the parachute system, preventing it from deploying as designed. The failure of the parachute system, which is crucial for decelerating the vehicle at high speeds, contributed to the severity of the crash. Without the parachute, Force's car was unable to reduce speed effectively, leading to the collision with both guard walls. In October of 2024, Force attended the NHRA Nevada Nationals in Las Vegas, marking his first appearance at the race since the accident. Whilst he did not participate as a driver, he was present to support his team and express gratitude to fans and sponsors for their unwavering support during his recovery. But is this the end for the legend that is John Force? Well, I'm not so sure, but it may very well be. He has expressed optimism about returning to racing, but many don't think this is a good idea. He himself acknowledged the challenges posed by his injuries, but emphasised his commitment to the sport and his team. He will no doubt still be in racing in some way, just maybe not participating. He has stated, "I want to show my support for our racers, the fans, and all our sponsors. They've stuck with me during a hard time, and I want them to know that I haven't forgotten them, and I haven't gone anywhere." Honestly, what a guy, and I wish him the absolute best in his recovery. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. Let me know what you think about this case in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.